Narcissists do every day when you don't answer their phones. Hi there, everyone. Thanks for coming back to the video. It's great to have you here. Today we're going to talk about something that many of us can relate to. What narcissists do every day when you decide to do no contact. This subject is mysterious and difficult to understand because it gives us a look into the thought of a narcissist. Hold on tight, because we're about to reveal the real thing that narcissists do every day when you don't answer their texts. The trip looks like it will be both educational and energizing. Let's jump right in. You no longer need to worry about the narcissist and what they're doing, who they're with, or how they feel about you. You're free once you block them, delete them, and stop being in their group. You have removed them from your life and now surround yourself with helpful people who share your views. You're getting better, paying attention to the present, and being thankful for everything. Putting your health and happiness above all else, you're becoming the best version of yourself. It's great that toxic people in power no longer have a place in your life. It doesn't matter what time of day or night you watch this. Take a moment to think about your path. Remember the lies, the trickery, and the harm they did to you and your family. But don't forget to think about your strength, your ability to bounce back, and your ability to do well no matter what. Right now you're in the healing phase, taking it easy, thinking about what happened, and realizing how narcissism affected you. You're getting better, enjoying the present, and being thankful. Toxic people can't control you anymore because you put yourself first, second, and third. You're not going through this trip by yourself. I am here with you and sending you love, strength, and good vibes. I know what you're going through because I've been there. You can do this. Narcissists jump right into their new supply as soon as they can't see you. They enjoy the thrill of trying something new and have a backup plan ready in case things go badly. During this time, they don't think much about your health. But if their new source of approval doesn't work out or doesn't live up to their hopes, they might think about you again. Narcissists don't care about closure, they'd rather keep their choices open. They might think about backing off only when there is a big problem. Many of them do come back, but not all of them do. The person may come back if the split was bad and if they want something from you. They might try to get back into your life by using tricks like hoovering to bring you back into their circle if you have things that they want, whether they are physical, financial, or something else. Usually, they do this when they get tired of their most recent victim or think that enough time has passed for you to forget what they did. Imagine that you broke up with someone because you saw them cheating on a game or thought they were cheating. They decide it's time to come back into your life after a short break. It's time for the hoovering phase. Suddenly, your email is full of notes like "I miss you" and "long time no talk," ignoring the problems that caused you to break up. It seems like nothing happened to them. Now you have to deal with the fact that the nice front they put on was all a show. It turned out that those big vows of a future together were empty, which broke your heart. You feel alone and without a plan B because you chose to stay quiet while healing from the pain of a love you thought was real. Afterward, it's hard because you're confused and wonder how they could go from loving each other so much to not caring about each other so quickly. The nice things start to stop once they think they have you again. If they think they already have your attention, why keep up the act? So, they start looking for someone else. It's a never-ending game for them, even if everything seems fine with you. Their minds are like busy markets, they're always looking for new people to pay attention to, and they keep you on hand in case something goes wrong. They quickly move on to someone else once you know about their tricks and cut ties with them. They'll probably try to bring you back into their circle at some point, whether you know it or not. A typical question is, do narcissists miss you when they don't talk to you? It's clear that how they think is very different from how you feel. But they won't miss you as a person or their true love. They will remember the good things you did for them. You wouldn't let someone else get you if they really cared about you. I've seen enough to tell you this, so trust me. Narcissists would never let go of someone they cared about, even if they still care about or feel something about them. Narcissists always put themselves first because they love getting new people to notice them. There's not much they care about you. You'll always be there for them, waiting, and they'll think you're better than anyone else. They're sure that when they get back from looking at other options, you'll be ready for them even though you're not together. Their minds keep telling them this story. But for an ego, nothing is worse than hearing that you're seeing someone else. They are hurt that someone else is now getting all the attention they used to get. They might not mind too much or not at all, depending on how busy they are. If they have a lot of fans around them, they won't even think about you. Things will get tough for them when they're lonely, so they'll do anything to get you back, from making you feel beautiful again to sweet talk. Think about this. If someone really loved or cared about you tried to get back together with you, would they have taken the chance of losing you in the first place? If someone really cared, they would have tried to make things better instead of popping up out of nowhere. Narcissists may not really care about you as much as they said they did if they don't reach out to you for a long time after you've stopped talking to them. Don't forget that narcissists always put themselves first. They may want to come back into your life because they failed somewhere else or because they still care about you. They see it as a chance to test their skills and control you once more, seeing if you'll give in. When you talk to them again, it shows that you could be fooled by them. Remember the lies, the tricks, and the possible betrayals that happened in the past. Most likely, they change the truth to fit their own purposes. Getting back in touch with them will only make their bad behavior worse. They might use their looks to try to get you back because they believe their charm is still strong. They might be pretty, but that doesn't mean they're worth your time. It's possible to like both. Narcissists use how they look to control other people when they don't have anything else to offer. A lot of people are swayed by their charm and want to give the relationship another chance. Getting a narcissist back into your life will make the abuse happen all over again. They might change how they act for a short time, up to 2 months if you're lucky. But the old problems will come back at some point. They'll ignore you again like they did before. They will probably keep tricking you while talking to other people on the side if they can get you to give them another chance. They'll think you are weak or desperate if you take them back. They'll believe that you'll be there for them even if you fight and break up again. Coming back to a narcissist over and over again makes you look bad and needy. Each time you forgive them, they know you'll put up with their bad behavior, which makes them dislike you more. Dealing with issues in your relationship from the start is key. Every relationship has fights, but taking long breaks can really hurt it. You could both start dating or talking to other people during those breaks. When you get back together, the time you spend apart could make things worse, like wondering who the other person talked to during the break. This makes the problems worse, which leads to another breakup. Things might not be meant to last if you can't figure out how to fix them. It's very important to deal with problems, and this is especially true in close relationships or marriages with children. Getting along with your kids is very important, which shows how important it is to get along. And think about what will happen if you make a certain choice. A lot of people act without thinking about how their actions will affect their family. Make sure you break up for good if you decide to do so. You should end the relationship, admit that it was unhealthy, and understand that the bad times were more common than the good. In a healthy partnership, trust is very important, and worrying all the time about getting hurt emotionally isn't healthy. It might feel scary and lonely to stop talking to a narcissist, but it's much better than wasting time on a bad relationship. If you let a narcissist keep crossing your lines, one of you will have to leave eventually. Don't forget that life is too short to stay with bad people. Who you hang out with is important. Stay away from people who aren't honest with you or who try to mess with your head. Find adult friends who value open communication and working together to solve problems. If you want to stay away from a narcissist, you might want to try the gray rock method. That means not caring about them and being boring to them. You should block them on all platforms and not say anything if someone related to them tries to get in touch with you. If you are co-parenting with a narcissist, you should follow the law when it comes to talking to each other and sharing rights. We hope this video helped you. Check out our station for more helpful videos and don't forget to share and like if you liked this one. View the book and personal meeting choices in the text below as well. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
When empaths want revenge, this is the cruel way empaths do to narcissists. Hey everyone, welcome. Glad you could join us. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Today, I'm going to talk about the 10 things that damaging narcissists do that drive empaths crazy. Before I get into the juicy details, I want to make it clear that the information I'm about to give is only for people who are dealing with emotional abusers who hurt and hurt others. It's not meant for people who are dealing with dangerous or possibly violent people. If you find yourself in this situation, put your safety first and get help right away from medical workers, the police, or other reliable authorities. Do not put your or your loved one's safety at risk. Now that we've got that important point across, let's get down to business. You are about to learn the things that will make your narcissist extremely upset. Write down everything you need to know as I go over it. But wait, do not forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell before we move on to the next plan. This way, you will get weekly updates with more great tips to make your life better. First, try not to get stuck in the middle of their fights. Narcissists love chaos, drama, and being able to easily show how much they hate and feel guilty about themselves. They use their victims as emotional punching bags, and the hits they land can hurt. But what if you don't want to get involved in their fights or react personally to the things they say, like attacks, criticism, or projections? How about just giving them a blank stare? You become less of an easy target if you don't get caught up in their harmful web. The narcissist will feel angry and powerless because they can't change or control you anymore, which is good for you. They won't be able to get their negative feelings out because their attempts to hurt your feelings will fail. Number 2, no care for their problems. Have you ever come across someone who was so caught up in their own issues, lies, and fights that you have to wake them up? That's exactly how a narcissist goes about their life. They use different strategies to change how you see them because they want respect, control, and a position of power. But what if you don't care and act like it? What if you show them that their false views don't change the way you think, feel, or act? Just picture how confused they will be when they realize how little you care about them. Just think about how angry they will be when they can't change your mood anymore. When you are focused on living your life, reaching your goals, being happy, and taking care of your own business, they lose control over you and become crazy. So, show them that their problems, their efforts to get you to care about them, and any other tricks they use don't matter much to you. Number 3, show them to other people. Narcissists are very good at tricking people into believing what they want them to believe and making themselves look good. What if, though, their carefully crafted image fell apart in front of a crowd? What if you told them they were lying, exaggerating, or really not very good at what they do? Imagine the fear that flashes through their eyes when they are directly asked a question, and how they can't answer without giving away who they really are. Think about how upset they are when their flaws or mistakes are shown to everyone. In this way, you take away their power over you and show them as they really are. You and everyone else can no longer be fooled or tricked by them because everyone can see their real character. So, don't be afraid to talk to them directly. Show them what they're really like in public and refuse to put up with their lies and schemes. Don't back down. Let them know you can see through their tricks and lies. Number 4, let them know who they really are. What would happen if you stopped believing their complicated web of lies and told them who they really were? What if you weren't going to believe their lies and let them control you any longer? You are basically telling them, I see through your lies and manipulative tactics. When you question their feelings and personal stories, you show that you won't let them trick you and that you can figure out what they really want. But how are you going to do this? When you hear a narcissist talking badly about someone or making up a story to make you feel sorry for them, don't be afraid to question their story and let them know that you will not let their lies go unchecked. Their game is thrown off because you are no longer playing, leaving them unsure of how to move forward. Number 5. Show that you don't respect them. What would happen if you treated them badly the way they treat you badly? What if you ignored them and made them feel like they didn't matter? Being rude and disrespectful to narcissists is a strong way to get back at them. By acting the same way they do, you show that you will no longer let them control or hurt you. You will no longer put up with their complaints or judgments. But how are you going to do this? First, don't let them take over the talk or make you feel bad about yourself. Stay strong and don't back down from challenges. Let them know that you won't stand for their selfish behavior and that their attempts to scare you will no longer work. Number 6. Ignore the fact that they exist. Say you laughed or gave them a look that said, "You can't be serious," in response to their attempts to trick you. Not paying attention to them can weaken them. You are not giving them the attention and respect they want by not taking their selfish behavior seriously. Their lies and tricks have no effect on you because you show them that. Do so carefully, though, and watch how they respond. When they make up complicated details and add to their stories, they might lose it when their efforts to trick others don't work. Number 7. Being completely honest. Narcissists have a weak sense of who they are and are great at controlling other people. What if you told them the truth, no matter how painful it was? What if you told them without fear what they really needed to hear, even if it wasn't what they wanted to hear? Being brutally honest with narcissists is a strong way to find out what kind of person they are. You might see them fall apart when you tell them the cold, hard truth. Narcissists don't like hearing facts that hurt their inflated sense of self-importance, especially when those facts go against what they think about themselves. Be brave and say what other people might be afraid to say. Watch as their act falls apart when they are faced with the results of their deeds. Number 8. Completely turning off. Narcissists get pleasure from making up a false sense of who they are. But what if you saw past their facade and found out how weak, meaningless, and useless they really are? By breaking through their veil of fantasy, you can take away their power. When you see how weak they really are and how empty their own sense of worth is, the game is over for them. They know that you can see through their act, which makes them look weak. They can't keep up the act that everything is okay any longer. Number 9. Not caring. Ignoring that they exist can be a very effective way to make narcissists weak. You're giving them the fuel they need for their ego by not paying attention to them. This can drive them crazy and keep them from getting the approval they need so badly at the same time. It is worth the work, even though it is hard. Even if the quiet is unbearable, it is important to keep going. Believe me, the option is much harder than putting up with their attempts to control you. Don't pay attention to what they want, and watch as their power slowly fades. Number 10. Get up and walk away. If you give up on them and walk away, it means that you are no longer connected to them in any way. It says, "You don't matter anymore, and I don't care." It means taking your attention, energy, care, and worry off of their narcissistic supply. It means you don't want to talk to them anymore. I know this isn't a game or an easy job. I agree that it's not as easy as it sounds. But trust me when I say it is possible and very important for your health. I hope this conversation has taught you something useful. If it helped you, please consider clicking like and sharing the most important thing you learned. Also, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when new videos come out all week. Remember what you're worth and how to set yourself free. Thanks for watching. See you in the next movie. The arrogance of narcissists leads to their downfall and suffering to the point of death. Welcome back, everyone. It's wonderful to see you all again. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're diving into how narcissists often take things too far. If you find our discussion engaging, please like, subscribe, and share it with others. Let's break it down. When someone overplays their hand, they push things to the breaking point. Narcissists excel at this game. They relentlessly push until relationships crumble and reality feels distorted. Their goal is to disrupt your peace, damage your connections, and hop from one source of attention to the next like a doorbell ringing non-stop. The kicker is that narcissists don't change. They're stuck in this loop and often overplay their hand without even realizing it. When things get too messy, they usually end the relationship abruptly. They cut ties without a second thought, leaving you without an explanation or closure. Why? Because as long as you're left feeling bad they win, it's all part of their twisted game. Let's delve deeper into this bizarre game. Sometimes, narcissists rewrite the story to make it seem like you ended things with them, when it was actually part of their plan all along. This tactic is known as the reverse discard. They push you to the breaking point, and when you finally give up, they play the victim with their new target, painting you as the bad guy who walked away. It's like peeling an onion layer by layer. For those who haven't experienced a narcissistic cycle, it's hard to grasp the extent of the manipulation and abuse. But know this, these people exist, and they're playing a game you never knew was happening. What's mind-blowing about narcissists? They always go too far. Think back to your time with them. Remember the bad behavior, the insults, the emotional and financial abuse. Those nights when you waited for them to come home, and their texts went unanswered. They always had an excuse. They pushed and pushed until something snapped. That's when their true nature came out, showing how little they cared about you or anyone else. It's a twisted game they're disturbingly good at playing. Do you remember when things got really bad with the narcissist? You had no clue what was happening. Narcissism seemed like just a fancy word for being vain, right? But it's much worse. It's about someone who pretends to be the kind, caring, stable partner you long for while secretly tearing you down. They know how to deceive you and keep you tangled in their web of control. You didn't realize it, but you were stuck in their cycle of devaluation. Back then, you were clueless about their lies, blame shifting, and triangulation. But now, with a clearer picture, you can see the truth. The narcissist played you like a fiddle and pushed you to the brink. But now you're free from their grasp. With newfound awareness, you see them for who they truly are. Pause for a moment and think about all the ways you supported the narcissist while you were together. Did you offer them a place to stay? Most likely. Did you pay their bills? Probably. Did you work hard to provide a good life for your kids? Maybe. Did they help you start a business? It's possible. Did you introduce them to your family, friends, and other important people in your life? Almost certainly. Did you share your hobbies and interests with them, like skiing or surfing? Most likely. As you shared your life, the narcissist was mentally taking notes, figuring out how to get closer to you and undermine your relationships. They wanted to isolate you, control your finances, and strip away your independence. Why? Because they thrive on taking from others. They love exploiting people to get what they want, and they never give back. Inside they are empty, seeking fulfillment through control and manipulation. They'll do anything to keep you ensnared in their web of deceit. When you're lost in the fog of narcissistic abuse, finding a way out can feel like looking for a needle in a haystack. It's hard to see an escape when you're constantly mistreated and ignored, especially if you don't understand how narcissistic abuse works. You spend sleepless nights worrying about how to deal with their worsening behavior. Where is the narcissist during all this? Likely off enjoying new conquests or spinning tales to cover their tracks. They are masters at creating whatever story suits them best. They'll do anything to maintain control, even if it means putting up a fake front or launching a smear campaign against you. They used these same tactics when they first met you, during your relationship, and possibly even now, if you're still entangled in their lies and manipulation after the breakup. For those of us who have navigated and healed from toxic relationships, we've picked up a few valuable lessons, such as handling a smear campaign. Think of it like a fire that eventually burns out on its own. Often, the people who fall for the narcissist's lies aren't the most discerning individuals. Over time, most people see through the deception and realize it was all nonsense. Sure, there might have been turmoil back then, but life moves forward. It's too short to dwell on the past constantly. Imagine you were cast out onto the streets years ago. You cleaned up, got back on track, and rebuilt your life. What didn't you do? You didn't fuel the rumors by reacting to them. By staying silent, you let the gossip die out naturally. That was a wise move. Why breathe life into something better left to wither away? As I've mentioned before, the narcissist will always jump into another relationship, only to see it fail. Why? Because they can't help but overplay their hand. People who once cheered them on will witness yet another failed relationship, just like the previous ones. What's the common denominator in all these disasters? You guessed it, the narcissist. It wasn't you. Narcissists are always on the lookout for new people to exploit, whether they're lovers, friends, co-workers, or anyone else. They glide through life like covert agents, hiding behind masks they switch out as easily as costumes at a masquerade. Once they're done with someone, the mask comes off. They live in a constant state of tension, always needing to be right, and perpetually glued to their phones. For a narcissist, being cut off by someone who sees through their facade is like a punch to the gut. Blocking them is a power move. You're taking control of your life and deciding who gets a seat at your table. If you haven't cut ties yet, ask yourself why not. When they realize you've blocked them and cut off communication, they'll do a double take. They likely believe that by keeping you entangled in their twisted games, they could continue manipulating you like a puppet on a string. But they never anticipated you reaching that aha moment and severing ties. They were blindsided because they underestimated your strength. Mistaking your kindness and love for weakness, they thought they had you all figured out. What's truly chilling is that empaths are the ones with real strength. That's precisely why narcissists target us. They exploit our empathy to fulfill their own desires. But beneath their facade, they're nothing but hollow shells. They lack the capacity to feel like we do, incapable of genuine love. Instead, they masquerade as someone they're not, wearing masks to deceive and manipulate others. Your true strength shines through when you see past their facade and break free from their grip. Recall all those instances in the relationship when your partner yelled, belittled, or tried to deceive you. The narcissist employed these cruel tactics not only to inflict harm, but also to test your resilience. They were probing to see how much you could endure, hoping to break you under pressure. Regardless of the relationship's duration, it was too long to endure such toxicity. We're discussing this because everyone in our community has suffered at the hands of a narcissist. Some have already reached the point of indifference towards the narcissist's actions, while others are just beginning their journey. It's crucial to recognize that none of what happened was your fault, regardless of where you are on that journey. You invested your all into that relationship, striving to make it work. But what about the narcissist? To them, It was merely a game, a means to deceive, manipulate, and tarnish your reputation. They made promises they never kept, using you as a pawn in their twisted game and exerting control over you at will. They continuously pushed boundaries, eager to see how far they could go. Before we wrap up, let's delve into something crucial, the hoover. I've touched on it before, but it's worth emphasizing. When the narcissist attempts to reel you back in, whether for a day, a week, or indefinitely. But agreeing to the hoover is akin to forfeiting your ability to say no. And let me tell you, no holds immense power. Some fall prey to the hoover repeatedly, only to remain trapped in a vicious cycle of pain and discard. But why does the psychopath engage in this behavior? Because they're feeble, hoping to gauge if you've grown strong enough to break free. They crave individuals like you who comprehend their intricacies, though they no longer rely on you. Reject the hoover and stand firm. Even after you've healed, the wreckage lingers in your mind. The relationship served because the narcissist crossed boundaries. It matters little whether it ended recently or long ago. The narcissist shed no tears for you. Instead, they swiftly moved on to another, leaving you to pick up the pieces. How did you respond? You took your time to heal, sought support, and educated yourself about narcissism. That's how you rebuild. No longer will you contort yourself to please others at the expense of your well-being. That's progress. Forward is our trajectory, not backward. The past and future are inconsequential. We reside in the present. From our experiences with narcissists, we glean lessons applicable to our daily lives. One certainty about narcissists: they always overstep boundaries. In conclusion, consider this. Even if the narcissist obtained all they desired, they'd still crave more. Their desires are insatiable, always fixated on the unattainable. Perhaps you were once in that position, and maybe I was too. That concludes today's installment. Remember, wherever you are, you're not alone. Hold on to that. Blessings to all. I hold deep affection for each of you. Until tomorrow, and always recall, narcissists engineer breakups deliberately. They habitually overreach. Not only do they evade accountability, but they also never contemplate their actions. They're ensnared in their cycle. But you've severed ties and won't be ensnared again. Take care, everyone.